Hey, this is Dan, just at the start of the episode to say this episode is sponsored by my comic book series Grey, which another issue of is currently funding on Kickstarter. I'll talk a bit more about that partway through the episode. Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
And for this episode we watched Daredevil 2003. Wake me up!
Wake me up
Can't wait!
Hey. Can we start out with that? The Daredevil.
That's not even the only Evanescence song.
No,
in this
it's
film.
got My
No.
Immortal in it as well.
But it's a surprising amount of Evanescence in Daredevil.
It's the
The
new metal superhero movie.
Daredevil had the amount of Evanescence that I thought Underworld would.
Yeah. I was kind of excited. I know that it's bad because I learnt to play My Immortal on piano. And that's normally like a good indication of how bad a song is. Did I learn how to play it when I was an edgy teenager?
It's a great song. And there's nothing wrong with Evanescence. There was just a lot of it. It's
It's
very
kind of pasted everywhere.
it's very of its time. Like if you want dark, what we said with Underworld, if you want dark gothy film from the 2000s, you shove Underworld in it. And they did it twice.
Evanescence?
Yeah, Daredevil.
Yeah.
You said Underworld.
No, if you want like a gothy film, you shove Evanescence into it, and Daredevil did it twice.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember seeing this when it came out, and I liked it at the time.
No, I still like it.
Oh yeah, no,
see.
but I mean, like when
action movies.
when it came out, I was like, oh, I really like this.
See, I don't like this film.
How dare you?
And I think mostly because I really enjoyed the first season or two of Daredevil on Netflix.
Oh yeah, the Netflix Daredevil show is like a whole other level.
It's a lot
hate-
better.
I hate Netflix Daredevil.
Oh, right.
Oh.
No, I think it's too clean. I like this film and the films of this time because they're fucking filthy. Like they're
They're just
just rotten
gritty.
to look at, and they're like
He's
actually
pretty ugly.
What do you mean?
I mean, that's not an unpopular opinion, right?
No, but they're like gritty to look at. Like they feel dirty. They
Yeah.
feel grimy.
Yeah.
And I prefer that over like the weird clean kind of grime that we have in now with like Mark.
I don't know if it's clean. I think, I do prefer it, just putting this out there, when a film is well shot,
Nah, not for that.
when you don't have to constantly adjust the volume because they have absolutely ruined the balance.
Most films still do that.
This was
Films are-
bad, though. I don't know if it's just that they really love Evanescence and wanted to, like, properly...
Films are worse.
But I had to, like, I was constantly adjusting, and, like, a good, like, 4 or 5 points on my remote as well. Like, I couldn't hear them, or I was being deafened by the music.
Films are worse now for that, I think. I think films are a lot worse now for balancing. At least in Daredevil, this film, it makes sense that he's mumbling. He's moody all the time.
Also, he likes loud music because his senses are heightened.
Yeah.
Very high. Does that mean that he can taste things better?
It
I think
implied
it's-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he can
Which-
feel things better, which is why he's got good balance.
And strength for some reason. That was a solid line.
Yeah.
He says, I can feel things better, so I'm stronger.
But there's
No,
one
have
Better
that,
muscle coordination?
like it's a bit further into the film, but since we're discussing this now, if he can taste things better, why the fuck is he chewing tablets?
Maybe it's for the same reason he
So-
listens to loud music and like lies down in water. It's like you're tasting that one thing. You're not
That's something that
tasting
you
everything
maybe,
else.
and we're going to go to the Helena Heath support worker part of the story. People chew painkillers when they're addicts.
Fair.
Which-
He's
again,
probably
He's
addicted to painkillers.
painkillers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make it pretty clear. When you chew tablets like that are supposed that it releases it into your system quicker.
Yeah.
Which he probably has a headache like 24/7 as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
he
and he's regularly having the shit beaten out of him.
I mean that too. But can you imagine having to hear absolutely everything constantly? Do you know who wouldn't complain about how quiet dialogue is in movies? It's Matt Murdock.
He probably wouldn't complain about how bad they look either.
No, he really would. Matt Murdock would love the Daredevil movie. But yeah, so Daredevil, for people that don't know, is about a boy who is hit by toxic goo right in the eyes, which gives him the ability to sense things better. His other senses become superhuman.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sort of to try and compensate. They overcompensate for the fact that he can't see by being hyper sniffy and
Yeah.
hyper listening
And hyperphilia.
and hyper. Yeah.
I think it also has something for it being like toxic, radioactive.
Oh, is that
also
part of it
helps.
as well?
Yeah, I did forget that John Favreau was Foggy Nelson in this.
Yeah.
I forgot it was Jennifer Holland that's Elektra. Didn't forget that it was Ben Affleck though.
No one will forget Ben Affleck, the ultimate devil.
Well, his hair, he did have good hair in this.
I like that he utterly refused to do a sequel.
He hated the costume,
hated it.
so much.
Just the costume he didn't like.
Yeah,
It's so leather.
yeah.
But like every superhero of that, it didn't have nipples, and that we can be happy for.
Yeah.
It's a benefit.
Like, admittedly, I much prefer like physical, actual suits to weird green screen with a floating head.
Yeah.
That I prefer. I actually prefer when they make the suits. But yeah, this film is weird.
To be fair, I didn't watch this and think, by God, the suit is the worst part of this film.
No, because it's impossible for it to be. Because the suit's actually quite well made.
Yeah, it's a cool suit.
You'd imagine he creaked quite a lot, though.
I want to know who made it. Did he make it?
He's got.
They talk about that in the original Daredevil. Someone makes him a suit, don't? Not
Yeah,
original Daredevil.
in the Netflix one, there's the guy that makes it.
The original Daredevil
Yeah.
that happened
years later.
Was it about 10 years?
later.
Yeah, about
When did this film come out?
2003.
So it was about 2013.
Yeah, it was about then because the rights lapsed, and so they
Oh, okay.
made a better one.
Yeah, because this was back when Marvel had no money.
Yeah, so they
And
sold the
was
rights to
selling
everything, so they could
everything.
not collapse.
Yes, yeah.
Although by this
and
point
Disney
we
bought
had X-Men, X2, and Spider-Man.
Were they Marvel made or were they like a separate
Oh
company?
no, they're all like separate companies, but it was
Yeah.
all ones where they'd sold the rights to them to
Yeah,
actually
and they
make
bought them
them.
back. Before they bought them back.
Yeah,
The era that this film came out in it shows. It carries the era on its back heavily. You can feel it.
We've talked about Daredevil's costume.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Elektra's. I say costume.
yeah. She's in a leather bra for 5 minutes, and then she
Yes.
gets stabbed.
So yeah, the story is Matt Murdock, Daredevil, he's going after a guy called like an evil person in charge of everything, trying to work out who it is.
The Kingpin. Who could it be?
Weirdly enough, it was the big businessman in town.
Yeah.
It's all set in Hell's Kitchen, and Gordon Ramsay's nowhere to be seen.
No, he's the real Kingpin. It's a good job it's not Gordon Ramsay. He'd definitely tell if it was raw if he had enhanced taste.
Well, he just deafened Daredevil by shouting. Yeah, then there's a girl in it, Elektra, who is way too quick to happily fight a blind man. But yeah, she's like mysterious and weird, and her dad is important and gets killed. Spoilers, gets killed.
Isn't he, a Greek bureaucrat, diplomat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets killed.
He gets killed by the best character in the movie,
The best
which
character
is
in the
Colin
movie.
Farrell as Bullseye.
Yep.
Just bald with a scarred bullseye
really-
target in his head.
It's so bizarre that it's Colin Farrell as well.
And he's just using
Really
his.
not.
I think this is the first film where he used his normal Irish accent as well.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, the
But he
costume is
it's definitely not an Irish person that's written his dialogue.
not at all.
no, definitely not.
It's an American guy that has never been to Ireland.
Well, the American guy that considers himself Irish because he's got a little bit of Irish blood and really enjoys St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, what was that rap that when we get introduced to Bullseye?
Fucking wild. That
rap, and it was
music.
like top of the morning to you.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so
I'm pretty sure
cringy.
the song that's playing while he's in the bar. I think it's who's the band that did Jump Around? I can't remember the name.
But that's a wild
Google
song
this,
to put over
but I
that.
think it was them.
Instead of just like a normal or an Irish rock band.
House of Pain.
House of Pain. That's the one.
Yeah. Instead of just having like a normal Irish rock band or something, why that? Why have like a weirdest song to put over the top? But he's a solid character, he's a great character.
He's so over the top ridiculous.
Yeah.
He has a bit of Dungeons and Dragons murder hobo vibes.
Yeah, he's a psychopath. Again, the only person that really understood this film, I think, is Colin Farrell. Because Colin Farrell went, okay, I'll do crazy, and just ran with it.
Oh yeah, no, he is intensely crazy in this film, and even like the little bits of like face acting where he's like, there's a bit where he's unfolding a paperclip to then yeet it into someone's neck,
He does it,
and he does like a little magic trick where he like, and then he pulls it back, and it's like
straight, and then he flicks it.
So he's called Bullseye because he can throw pretty much anything at
Anything.
wherever he wants to
Yeah,
And he'll
accurately.
never miss.
He doesn't miss.
So
Until
it's
he
like,
does.
but so he can like do that thing where he slits people's throats with playing cards, or has like ninja stars,
Or
Killed an old lady.
throw a paperclip into a racist pub owner.
Or flick a peanut into a woman's throat.
Yeah, he does just kill an old lady because she won't shut up.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair,
That
if
is
I
me
was
at
on
work.
that plane, if I was on that plane, I'd at least think about it.
No peanuts for you two. He had headphones on. He could have just turned up the volume.
That's true, but Daredevil might hear.
Hear him coming because he's on the plane.
To be fair, we don't know how strong Daredevil's hearing is. We only
No.
get to hear a small amount of it before he goes to sleep.
I mean, like every comic book hero, his powers seem to, be quite plot dependent.
yeah, 1000%.
Of course.
And again, he somehow beats Elektra in a fight, which, like, we learn later what Elektra can do.
Mm.
That is not a fight Daredevil can win.
Did he win,
I
was she
I
flirting?
I think it was a sexy fight.
It was a flirty duel, but
It had the vibes of previous movie we watched. You know the baseball scene from Catwoman? No, basketball, not baseball. It'd be very
it had that.
different if it was baseball.
Very different flirty fight with a baseball bat.
God. Yeah,
Catwoman
it was
just
one of
running
those,
on all fours to get the ball.
Yeah.
Because this film's too clean to have a proper sex scene. It does have a sex scene though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was the warm up.
Yeah, they have
It
a
was the
proper sex scene
foreplay.
because there's a point where like crime doesn't matter because he can fuck. He hears someone getting mugged and he's like, eh. But yeah, her dad gets killed by Bullseye, but like Bullseye hits Daredevil's like blind stick into him, so she thinks Daredevil killed him.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
So then she
it's
trains,
the,
trains to become Elektra by listening to Evanescence and cutting sandbags.
She was already Elektra. I think it's implied she was already that, but
Yeah.
she was already good at doing that because she said like her dad sent her to a different teacher, a different martial arts teacher every year. So
Yeah.
she already knew she was already Elektra. I
Yeah.
think that was just sandbag killing practice.
Yeah.
She's been fighting Sandman, and just in case,
Had to make sure.
that's how she.
Well, we needed to have more time of her actually in her Elektra costume because of how quickly she gets killed.
She gets killed very quickly.
Yeah.
And we also needed room for another Evanescence song. So
We did need-
if we didn't have that scene, we wouldn't have the
No.
Bring Me to Life scene. So
But yeah, she's so quick to throw hands with absolutely anyone.
yeah.
Like she's so ready for a fight. Like a blind man that she doesn't know, like points his like stick at her, and she's ready to kill him. Like she's ready to like attack him immediately in public.
So one thing we've not really talked about with Daredevil is the fact that he's a lawyer by trade.
A lawyer by day,
By
Daredevil
day,
by
and
night.
then Daredevil by night. But as Daredevil, he was going around giving out his own vigilante justice to people he couldn't convict in court.
Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah.
But he also left a calling card.
That bit was really weird where it's just like, oh, isn't it convenient that he's left a flammable double D on the floor?
Yeah, that's what I like.
Dropped
Like
a
his
bra.
logo, he left his own logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, DD.
Yeah. He's a lawyer. He understands branding. Like we don't know. He might have started out as a copyright lawyer and thus understand branding.
That scene that happens just after my favorite line of the film as well, and that's when Daredevil is beating up that dude on the train
Yeah.
tracks, and he's like, "Yeah, that light at the end of the tunnel, it's not heaven, it's the C train."
Yep. Also, like the investigator that's following him around trying to prove that Daredevil is a real thing tampers with evidence at a crime scene immediately.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're at that crime scene after Daredevil has beaten the shit out of everyone, which is his MO is to
He
beat the
does
shit
like
out
just
of
go
literally
nuts
everyone.
in a bar and sets fire to the pool tables as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, all three.
extreme pool.
And also, there's some pretty weird a ceiling fan pole dancing.
Which is fine. Like Matt Murdock's got a lot of rage built up as a pro bono defense lawyer, I guess, that he needs to let out. But yeah, this detective who's like following him around the entire time, trying to prove he's real, throws a lighter at the floor and it bursts into the Daredevil logo, which is either something that Matt Murdock created that logo and uses that logo, or the newspaper created that logo for him.
How
and
would
he's
a
just
I
capitalizing.
know he's got enhanced senses, but
Mhm.
unless he used some sort of smell or touch, how would he make a flammable logo look that is that spot on?
Sound, I guess. Or
Maybe he took his time.
Yeah.
yeah, but also like when he's in the rain, he says like whenever raindrops happen, they create a sound and he can see.
Yeah, so he can.
Like,
I suppose if he's pouring
sonar.
it, then
Yeah, you just dribble a bit in a corner and go, okay, then we start here. As long as he doesn't stop. As soon as he stops, then he can't continue. He'll lose his place.
What you don't see is him just like rubbing it out because he's just like lost where he is a couple of times.
Yeah, you don't see the rest
how many
of it.
Ds he's done and keeps going.
Yeah, is the like 10 tries around that one that lit on fire.
The guy throws the lighter and the whole subway is just like.
There's loads of shit Ds that are like slightly too far apart.
Yeah, because they do show a little bit of his life as an actual blind person. Sort of like he's got his money in different pouches that have been labeled, and he's got little braille tags on things. So it's like, so for some things he's, it's obvious, he can't see and it does affect his life, but not if it's if it's inconvenient for the plot.
Well, if it's like combat ready. I guess like no matter how good your hearing is, you can't tell.
You can't read the newspaper.
Yeah. Like no matter how good your hearing is, if there's not a sign that's embossed, you won't be able to read it.
Yeah, you need like braille, like how the intro credits is buildings that turn into braille that turn into names.
That's great.
It was cool.
It was cool, like
not useful as real braille.
No, not as useful as
you need a 3D TV for that to work.
How that works, Dad. Yeah, and then the dad is killed. Running through this at random pace because I can't remember. Dad is killed. Elektra thinks it's...
Daredevil's framed by
Bullseye
because he uses Daredevil's cane.
Yes.
Well, it's not. It's not just. It's his like nunchucks that can also become that. If you press a button, become a cane.
Multi-purpose stick.
And it's like that's such a bad idea because why would you want something identifiable like that, like your weapon that you use at the scene of the crime, to link you to your like alter ego, like your normal alter ego?
I guess if you don't know Daredevil's blind, you won't assume that is a cane that a blind person would use. You'd assume it's just like a weapon.
Yeah.
Like a
but then if
sword.
you can press the button and find out that it's a blind man's cane.
No, that's what I mean. Like if it extends out, you'd be like, oh, this is.
But
it
extends out into very much and obviously a cane, like it's white with the red stripe on it.
It also helps that they'd seen him, like Matt Murdock, using that exact one before as well.
Also, I imagine he never plans on losing it.
True.
Like he never.
But he's got a bunch though, so maybe he is
He does have a lot of costumes in that, like a weird little extra bit.
Maybe he has a lot of them in case they break.
Yeah, he probably wasn't expecting Colin Farrell to kick one of them into a man's chest.
Yeah,
so.
True.
I guess he's never had anyone that has like weird supervillain powers back at him before.
No.
Yeah, he has just been beating up normies.
Yeah, just base level muggers.
No specialized villains yet.
And then all of a sudden he's got Colin Farrell.
He's got three of them coming up. He's got Elektra, Kingpin, and Colin Farrell, the person not.
Yeah.
Not Bullseye.
Not Bullseye, it's Colin Farrell.
It's Colin Farrell in a bold cap.
Yeah. Also, Michael Clarke Duncan was great as Kingpin.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Incredible. He's so imposing. His voice is incredible.
I wish they'd have used him more. That's the problem. If there was a sequel, skipping forward a bit after the whole fight with Bullseye, it's like it'd be cool if it was only after that he was like, okay, it's Kingpin, and didn't just immediately kneecap him, and there was a bit more story to come out of it. But I guess they were.
Yeah.
One thing I am
at that point.
Yeah, I'm glad this was an hour and a half movie. I'll say that.
Yep, it's just pre the age where movies suddenly realised they could be 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Also have 1,000 sequels, and all of them have to interconnect to each other. This was the era of we'll have one. If it does incredibly well, we'll make a second one, and then maybe a third.
Yeah, I suppose at least they did keep Kingpin alive.
Yeah, this isn't the era of we're going to announce 8 films before this one's even out.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we've already announced the sequel and the third one in the franchise. No, this was you got to film one at a time. So they would set it up. He did just immediately kneecap him though.
Real quickly.
Yeah.
Using his Rain Man powers.
Yeah, he's never.
It's a very different movie though.
He's never walking again. But that's not the best fight in the film. The end fight is hands down nowhere near the best fight in the film.
Is it the CGI around the organ fight with Bullseye and Daredevil? It's
fucking amazing. The Bullseye Daredevil fight is incredible.
It's so bad.
It's so great. I know what you're talking about. Because it's weird and it falls as soon as they start jumping, immediately Uncanny Valley. Everything looks weird and rubbery.
Yeah, it was quite unpleasant to look at.
Yeah, and the size of the organ kept changing. It was giant whilst they were swinging, and then it was back to normal. It took Bullseye far too long to work out how to defeat Daredevil.
Yeah.
What, ringing the church bells?
Yeah, making a
just
noise.
Like making a lot of noise. He's essentially got the same weakness as Venom, which is noise and fire. Like, I imagine if he...
I imagine he doesn't react well to fire.
Which we almost got, but Bullseye has a bunch of lit candles and then uses it to hit the organ. He doesn't hit Daredevil with it, so we never find out.
No. The best shot, that fight contains the best shot in the film, and it's why I think it's the best fight in the film. One of the best fights ever was when Bullseye broke the glass and then grabs all the glass out of the air.
Oh yeah, and
it goes back to him just with
Daredevil tumbling.
Before that, when he just finishes catching it all, and he's just got 2 piles of glass in his hand, and he's just smiling like he's won an award. It's the best. It's a wild film.
It is. I also like Daredevil's always been quite a sort of religious character, and like it does start going a bit overboard on the religious stuff, so like I did really like Bullseye getting shot through the hands, but still, like
they fought.
Yeah, it was a bit on the nose, that bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like taking out the thing he's best at is good though.
The film starts with Daredevil holding onto a literal cross.
Yeah,
like you can't be like, oh, it went a bit far with the religious. No,
like there is a lot where he's just like like sitting on top, just bleeding down the church.
Yeah,
like the weirdest shot in the movie is the one where it's like zooming into that church, but it finishes on a close up of just the stained glass window.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a pretty ugly Mary, Virgin Mary.
Just immediately cuts from that to Daredevil, which maybe implies that he'll have a virgin birth at some point.
Right? They never got that. Was the setup to the sequel.
That's why Ben Affleck didn't return. He didn't want to do
this is sacrilegious.
That's the real reason.
I always find it quite frustrating, like religion being used as this, like, oh, poor them, they're doing all these bad things, but they feel hella guilty about it, so let's watch them wrestle with their guilt, because they feel bad because it's a sin, not because it's not right.
Yeah,
because they're like, well, it's right to me in the moment, but I know
Catholicism.
Yeah, that justifying and apologizing and feeling bad after the fact instead of not killing people.
Yeah, but then the priest does turn around and he's like, you're just asking me for permission, not forgiveness, and I'm not going to give it to you.
And Daredevil doesn't care.
No. This episode is sponsored by Grey Issue 4, a comic book series that I've written and is currently funding on Kickstarter. It's the story of an ex-undercover cop who is back from the dead to take down the mob he was infiltrating. But now he's made of concrete. When you pledge, you can get digital and physical copies, posters, sketch cards of yourself, some of the original artwork, and there's even the chance to be drawn into the comic book yourself. Any backer will also receive the digital backlog as soon as I can send it out to you. The issue is funding until the 3rd of April, so check it out. The link is in the show notes. Back to the episode. What else happens in this film?
Oh man, I don't know. There was that ball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kingpin's there for a bit, isn't he?
Kingpin is great.
Like they really half-assed the Matt Murdock side of it.
Yeah. Oh, in the ball, Elektra's essentially wearing tinfoil as well.
Yes.
Like she's just got that really
shiny
dress.
Costume.
Dressed like a baked potato.
One costume I sort of wanted to talk about was the one when we first see her, like this little frilly white vest she's wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that midriff, it's so naughty.
It's so 2000s. It's incredible. That's how you get midriff and
low-rise jeans. Oh, that is one thing I do not miss.
But that's the age. That's the era it's from.
Makes me sad.
But yeah, the end fight. I am shocked that Kingpin in this was black. That wouldn't happen again. That would be an argument if that happened.
I think there was a bit of uproar about it at the time.
Was there?
But probably nowhere near as much as there would be now, because obviously things like Twitter and that wouldn't be around, so all the racists wouldn't have a platform.
Yeah, like it seemed to just sort of kind of get away with it. Like,
so is it the idea that he's just because he's powerful he can't be black, or
no? Because like, why would you have a fat white comic book character and make him a big black man?
Like if it happened now, there would be way more complaints.
Yeah, and they turn around and go, "Fuck off."
A black character. Like there would be way more. I have no problems with it. I think it's like it worked really well in the film.
Yeah.
He's a great actor. But I think if it happened now, like you'd have like headlines about it. There'd be so much shit on like Twitter and Reddit.
Yeah, and people would make more of a thing of it than it might not. They might have auditioned people of all
they
races.
probably did.
and then he was
Yeah.
the
And they
best.
were like, "Fuck, this guy's awesome."
Yeah, because he's got the voice of an actual god.
Yeah.
Uh,
And he's
His voice
fucking
is
huge.
amazing.
Like,
And
Well,
yeah.
it's
seriously.
incredible. He's the most imposing person I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Did you think they like beefed him up
No,
Maybe.
for
he's.
this?
I
Is he
think
just
he's
massive?
genuinely that big. Like,
He probably put on muscle for it in general.
yeah,
But I know, I think he's just that big. Yeah, I think people would absolutely complain about it now,
yeah.
which would be funny. And I want them to do it again. Be that brave again, Marvel. Be that brave again.
Yeah, because in the Netflix ones, it's a white guy, similar build,
Yeah,
obviously.
he's-
It's Vinny D.
He's great. Like,
Vincent D'Onofrio.
he's good in the Marvel one.
Fucking good.
But that's definitely way
Edgar
closer
from Men
to
in
the-
Black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's way closer to the original.
Yeah.
Yeah,
design,
that he's
the
very-
comic book
yeah.
design. But that literally doesn't matter.
No,
It doesn't matter
exactly.
if it's close or not. It's whoever's a good actor. But yeah, I quite like this film. And yeah, the end fight is wild because there's like water running through his office for some reason.
I think it's like a fire alarm sort of thing.
Oh,
Is
what,
it?
sprinklers?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
sprinklers that he hits, and then he does a slip and slide and kneecaps him.
Yeah, he sets off the sprinklers to so that he can do the I can see in the rain thing, because obviously raindrops will bounce off.
Well, yeah, they make sound every time a raindrop hits. It makes a sound. I hate how
guess.
much of this film is lodged in my
I was going to
brain.
say that you made that sound like an Instagram quote.
No, that's a quote from the film.
If you're feeling down, remember every raindrop hits us. Wait,
That's a quote from the film that I was half paying attention to. I don't know how it got in my head. Even that, like, Kingpin is kicking his ass at the start of that fight. When it's an equal fight, Daredevil is losing.
Yeah,
That's something that they made very clear. It's like this
is it an
even
equal fight if one of them is blind?
When that person has like magical hearing abilities and can essentially see, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a fair fight.
I mean,
When he has
Daredevil
sonar,
he does get beaten up a lot,
Yeah,
and
to be
every
fair, they
single
don't
time
imply
he gets
he's,
the
like-
shit beaten out of him, everyone's like, "Right, let's just take your mask off," and he's like, "Oh, not again."
yeah, everyone knows.
Oh, it's Ben Affleck. Oh fuck.
Everyone knows it's Matt Murdock
Yeah.
at this point.
At the end, when the detective guy is like, "It was Matt Murdock," it's like, "Yeah, no shit."
Well, yeah, literally everyone knows.
Oh, did you really have to ruin it? We weren't going to tell him we knew.
That's why he deleted it. He already
It's
knew.
like, this isn't news. This isn't going to sell
No,
papers.
Everyone
Yeah.
knows.
It that ending. So yeah, he kneecaps Kingpin. Doesn't kill him though.
Doesn't kill him because all of a
Should
sudden
do.
he
Doesn't want to be worse.
plot
He wants to be
convenient.
better
Yeah,
than.
he wants to be the good guy.
Well, the whole story that we forgot is Matt Murdock wants his revenge because Kingpin killed his dad.
Ah, yes, yeah.
That's the whole reason. Which yeah, at the end he's like, I don't have to kill you, and it's like, great. What about all the other people that you've killed?
Yeah, that selective. I mean, that's just superhero all
Yeah,
movies
the
like that.
ending.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's what I find frustrating about the Matt Murdock Daredevil character is that selective religion.
The sort of thing where it's like, I might not necessarily kill you, but fuck, the hospital bills might.
Oh, you mean?
Like,
Kingpin will be fine.
yeah.
He can definitely afford it. Yeah, I think I like this film.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I don't
not-
like. I'm not like it's the best film ever, but
No,
it was fun to
It's
watch.
not that bad, like, at all.
I
It
I
did
had-
nothing for me.
I had more fun watching it than I do, and this might be controversial than like a lot of modern superhero films. I had more fun watching this because it felt like there was actual stakes. Like it felt like shit might go wrong for Daredevil,
Yeah, and it did.
and it
several
did
times.
a lot.
He
You
got
can-
stabbed through the shoulder by Elektra's size.
Almost every fight it went wrong, which I appreciate that, but more than like what happens now, where superheroes just kind of win constantly. Even when they lose, they still kind of win the fight.
Yeah, I guess what you mean. Yeah, I see what you mean in that respect, but I feel like because it's a standalone movie,
It's not
They also-
standalone. It's got a sequel. It's got a spin-off.
because it was clearly made not knowing whether or not it was going to have
Yeah.
a sequel or anything. They pack so much like
Yeah.
exposition in, but then there's so much packed into it, but it just feels like then they don't actually pay proper attention to the right bits. So
Yeah.
like the bit where he's goes to give his confession is like 10 seconds long, followed by a 3-minute long fight scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, like talking about the fact that they can't afford to pay their bills as lawyers because, you know, the whole point is that they try and take pro bono and they'd like represent poor people.
People that they
Like, it's
know
just-
are innocent.
Yes. Which again, amazing statement. It's an amazing line.
Yeah, because he can hear heartbeats to tell if someone's lying or not.
Oh yeah, but I
Yeah.
forgot that he also is a polygraph.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, honestly, that bit makes sense. If he can do all
Yeah.
the rest of it, that's
Yeah,
like the simplest part of his power.
Helena, I feel
Yeah.
like you've got a rant inside you that you want to let out.
It's his face. I just really don't like his face. And it's not a rant. It's just I don't like Ben Affleck's face in this.
I
And
wasn't
like
expecting that.
the way. Oh, sorry.
No,
The
I was
way
expecting like I didn't like this film because I just don't like his face. No, that's
he-
fair. I also hate Ben
I think
Affleck.
because
so
he's
it's
trying
fine.
to act blind, he looks slack-jawed in
Yeah.
like every close-up of his face. He's like, yeah, I mean, great for the podcast. Like his mouth is slightly open all the time, and he looks like he's just had a filling.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe you're right. Maybe I'm used to like slightly more polished actors and polished
No.
films where people are genuinely all pretty handsome.
I mean, that's a fair like statement because this film does do that thing where it like commodifies a disability. Like that's the point of it. Is it's like, isn't this disability powerful because he can do magic things with it? Yeah, that's not cool. And the way that the way that now you've mentioned it, that like every close up it looks like a sort of parody.
Yeah.
Like he's parodying it. Like, yeah, no, that's absolutely a valid thing. It is that like weird thing where it's, I don't know, making a disability be like, it's super special because he now has special powers because of it. It's like, okay, cool, I guess. It feels a bit weird that how he portrays it.
Yeah, they don't really talk about any or explore any of the disadvantages of being disabled.
Yeah.
No, it's
So
all
they don't
like,
actually.
he's got
There's no like
superpowers.
visibility for blind people or people with visual impairments. Like there's nothing. It doesn't like call attention to anything.
Which like it's cool because
It's not the film's job to do that,
No,
but
no.
then at the same time, it's a blind superhero. Like
it is cool that there is a blind superhero, that there is like a superhero for blind kids to be like, fuck yeah. Kids shouldn't be swearing.
I feel like it's a superhero that probably annoys blind people.
I think for kids it's good, as like you get to have a superhero you can look up to, that you can like.
But can you imagine like having to explain to every other kid that's seen this, like, oh, so have you got superpowers? Can you hear like the teachers in the other room?
Yeah, there are two ways of looking at it, and I guess we can't say one way or the other because it's not something.
Kids are psychopaths.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
Any
not something
weakness.
we've like personally experienced. So
Nope.
There's two ways of looking at it.
Someone did call me Four Eyes once.
And
I was like, "Wow, really?"
That's a shocking. Like
That was like in like the 2008 or 2009. I was like, "What?"
that's such a jarring insult. What?
I mean, I was wearing glasses just to be fair. Like, it wasn't.
No,
They
if
were
you
just
were
being like
yelling at you, but that's such a bizarre. Are they from the 90s? Or...
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is like, are you teasing me for not being able to see well?
Did you just come here from like, well done?
It doesn't affect my self-esteem particularly. I'm not like,
Look,
oh man.
Whoever called you that stopped living in pop culture in the 90s. They vanished into the hills. In
Well,
the
that's
late
worrying
90s.
considering they were probably also born in the mid 90s like myself.
Yeah, they vanished they stopped paying attention to the world.
Yeah, they would never have experienced the new metal sensation that is Daredevil 2003.
I like this film. It's his portrayal is it's bizarre. I think is the best way to put it.
I have that Evanescence album.
So do
Of
I.
course.
It's great.
I bought it from H&M. Not H&M.
Fuck yeah.
HMV.
HMV.
Oh no, you bought it from H&M.
They had it next to all the leather corsets and stuff.
Be like Elektra.
Yeah. Tell you what this movie does have, though, like other Marvel movies, is a post-credit scene.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
does
it's
it?
Bullseye, and he's in hospital because he's just completely broken, and there's a fly that's annoying him, and he flicks a needle into it to kill it.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Good to know my boy still has his powers.
Yeah.
The power to aim real good.
Yeah.
So out of 10, guys.
For me, it's 4 Evanescence tracks.
Wow, they only played 2, so that's like double the film.
I'd rather just listen to an Evanescence album.
Would you?
I'd rather listen to 4 Evanescence tracks, as long as I get to choose them.
Yes. Well, they have to be My Immortal and was it Bring Me to Life in this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bing, 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 bing,
Yeah.
bing, bing, bing. I could like my fingers started doing the like hand things.
Yep. That song, like Welcome to the Black Parade, the opening key, and everyone knows what it is.
Yeah.
It actually, I think I'm telling a small porky. I learnt the first bit, but then it goes quicker, and I can't do it. I can do it on piano.
Yeah.
And I was too embarrassed to ask my piano teacher to teach me how to play it.
You were probably like the 10th the 100th child to ask how to play My Immortal.
Just that day.
Oh, do you want a fun oops?
Yeah,
But
sure.
sort of similar vein. I did ask my singing teacher to help me learn the theme tune to an anime, but it's an opera.
Okay.
Weird anime. What's it called? But the what I'd forgotten to tell him, or I hoped he didn't know, was that if you look up the video, like the introduction is all these like semi-nude women in the style of Gustav Klimt.
Oh no.
And that's like the intro to that anime.
Yeah, he definitely looked it up.
Well, the problem is, I think he recommended it and gave copies of the song to other people before he looked it up.
Oh,
no. Oh no. How old were you when you did that?
15.
Oh, that's better. No, that's better.
Yeah.
Not great, but I was expecting like way younger for him to be.
It was very grotty. That's not the right word. A very grisly anime. Oh, the name has totally gone from my head.
So Dan, out of 10.
I would probably give this a 5 out of 10. Just best character in the movie, which is Bullseye. Just like 5 times he hit things really well, I guess. Yeah, it was fine, and that is the best review I can give this movie. It's fine.
Would you watch it again?
Not yet, but at some point maybe.
Because it's kind of made me want to watch the Netflix series again.
Yeah, I might watch that again at some point soon. It's not on Netflix anymore. It's probably coming to Disney Plus soon.
Yeah, I was going to say it's just left Netflix, isn't it? Because
so what would you give this out of 10?
5.5 to 6. 5.5 to 6 times Bullseye licked his fingers and then touched his head scar because he did that
a lot.
He did that, and I can't remember which way around it is. I can't remember if he licked his fingers and then touched the head scar, or if he touched the head scar and then licked his fingers.
What, like he was tasting it?
Yeah, I don't know which way's worse.
I'm definitely tasting it.
Like, yeah.
Maybe he's just got to keep it moist, like lizards that lick their eyeballs.
Yeah, all props to Colin Farrell going at 10,000% on that character.
He definitely put the most effort in.
1,000%. Everyone else was like subdued. Ben Affleck was
he was doing acting Daredevil with a capital A.
Yeah. That like Ben Affleck was like, I'm gonna play Daredevil as like a subdued anti-hero, and Colin Farrell kicked the door down and screamed in, and then threw some shit. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was really entertaining because it was like a bit shit and grungy, and like they actually went into characters' stories. Like there was actual dialogue and like actual interactions between characters that weren't quips. I liked the lack of quips. I liked the like these people weren't
just
joking at each other. Yeah, no, but like they weren't just like constant. I liked that.
He does at one point say justice is served, and I was like, of course.
It's fine. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
But there were like actual characters talking to each other for a bit.
That is fine.
I think I just like this era of superhero movie. I like the weird grunginess of it. And it's not polished and it's messy. I think I like that. But for the rest of it, no.
No.
Like the fight scenes were weird. The best part of it was Bullseye and Elektra. God, I wished Elektra got a better movie, but we'll talk about that at some point.
Yeah, that's coming up next. We don't normally say what's coming up next week, but I think it's obvious that we'll do the sequel to this one.
Spiritual sequel. So,
we've watched it. I'm not talking about it. Some good needs to have come out of me watching this film.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I have been Dan.
I have been Michael.
And I've been Helena.
And you can find this podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Hilton Pod. That's at HILTM Pod. We're on Discord as well. Let us know what you thought of Daredevil.
It's fine.
Before we continue, I'm just going to...
Have you got a cat?
That's he's just jumped on top of my shelves. Hang on, give me 2 minutes.
Wait, show us.
Was that Lego?
Yeah.
Show us. You have a camera.
Hang on.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Jess.
Oh, wow, she knocked
and
everything
she's down.
off.
Yeah. Well, she's down now, so...
Yeah, you don't have to
She
worry.
can't knock anything else off.
No.
Yeah, she'll try.
Well, right.
Do you want to go pick stuff up, or...?
It's fine, I'll do it in the break.
It's going to take a while.
We're nearly finished this episode. There's not too much on the floor. So, yeah.
As long as she's not like eating bits of Lego.
No, she's ran out now. I don't know what she's doing.
She's done what she came here to do.
Came for chaos and now she's gone.